Hi,
Hello.
we're the Bouchers.
Yeah, the Bouchers.
That's us. So, we've been looking for an RV for a year now. I was pretty surprised that he wanted to go and try this journey again after the last time when we went out in a travel trailer and we had 3 dogs and a cat and us. And we're big folk, so, it just wasn't for us. So we knew that we needed a bigger unit. So we found one on Facebook Marketplace and we went to look at it in Kissimmee. And we fell in love with the unit. The pictures were gorgeous. It was a beautiful unit. We went to go look at it. They were super nice. The guy that was selling it told me that his grandfather passed away and willed him the RV. And so he had just gotten the title the day before. This is very important, so don't forget this key little part right there. So when we went, it was almost dark because we went after Paul got out of work, and we really couldn't see as much as we wish that we could have. So the first thing that I noticed on the first day was when I went into the bathroom, the floor was really kind of squishy. I found out the next day on pickup that the whole toilet actually moved. So I'm pretty short and I can't see into a lot of the cabinets and things, but I did open them up and I did look and I didn't see anything. There were stains that were scattered throughout on the ceiling, but they didn't look like anything from a leak. It was strange. I hadn't seen any water damage that would have looked like that before. We offered him 10 grand and he said, no way, that's too little. That's not enough. So we went up to I think like 11, and then we ended up at 12.5 is what we offered him for the unit. And we went and got a $2,000 deposit to give to him to hold because we had to come back the next day with the rest of it. Our bank isn't in Florida, so we had to do a wire transfer, which they really were not very keen on doing. That's probably red flag number 2 of the whole deal. But he said that somebody else had offered him 11 for it, or I'm not quite sure what other offers that he got. But I told him, I said, well, listen, this is all that I can do. I said, my grandmother actually recently passed away and she left me a little bit of cash, which is what I'm using, and I'm already going to have to buy tires, so I can't really just fork out all of that. So with that said, I kept trying to give him an out and he was like, no. So he decided that that's what he was going to take, was the 12.5. So on further inspection, Paul was doing the outside of the rig and I was doing the inside of the rig. What things did you find that were wrong with the outside?
Big thing on the outside was leveling jacks. They weren't coming up or down. Not too much really. I mean, physically, you really couldn't see anything. It looked like they covered their tracks pretty well. And the other thing was that there was no ladder, so we couldn't do a roof inspection. So, but other than that, which after seeing all this and the damage on the inside, you could tell they did a quick job of sealing and telling us that, my grandfather always took care of it. Every 6 months he did the sealing and all the stuff was in the compartment under the thing. It didn't look like it was brand new. So they were definitely good at covering their tracks on this thing.
So day 2, we go to pick it up, and they had asked us for a 10-minute heads up both days. We really didn't think anything of it because, you know, sometimes people have to put dogs away or whatever. So when we got there the second day, they had the batteries on charge and the rig was running. And so he said, oh, I left everything on accident last night and it killed everything, but you know, it'll be fine. So he did get up on the roof and took a video of the roof for us, which is when we found out that we did have like a little a satellite
solar panel.
That's it, solar panel on the top, which we were excited about that because that was one of the things that we've been looking for. So that was number one. We had to wait there all day in order to for the wire transfer to clear. They wanted to make sure that it cleared before we took the unit. Kind of understandable because you never know if you're going to deal with a scumbag or not. So we got to hang out with the family and I thought that they were great. They were so kind, just very, very friendly. I thought, wow, you know, they've got great kids here. This is really cool. So we go to leave and there's this ringing, tinny ring sound. And I'm like, what is that? So one of the kids gets underneath the rig and he's like, oh, it's just the fan. Don't worry about it. It's just the fan. And I was like, you mean a fan that can chop up hoses and belts? And he's like, no, it's in a cage. It's fine. It's fine. So the engine was running. Everything seemed great, you know, whatever. We did have to go put air in the tires because they were low. And we knew that one tire at least had some dry rot on it and that they would need to be replaced. Although we were told that the inside tires on the dually part was that they were new. We'll find that out on Monday. So the stairs were stuck. And we had planned on redoing the stairs anyway so that Meg can get in and out with ease. So we already knew that we were going to do that. But the motor was stuck. And it was like trying to pull the stairs up and it couldn't. So it ran the entire way from Kissimmee back to Daytona Beach, where we ended up pulling a wire just to get it to stop. Also, one of the things that the guy said before we left was, oh, I've got to show you this. Now, I already knew that the RV is a 96, so we knew that it was going to need probably all the windows to be resealed and all that. So he said, let me show you this. He said, there's a hole up here in the front seal, and you're going to hear it when you're driving down the road. So you can actually see through the dashboard out all the way outside, and it was pretty loud, you said, driving.
Yeah, it hissed the whole way down the highway.
That looks like a whole lot of fun. You can see right out the whole thing. Oh boy. Windshield's gonna go flying off. It'll be a good time.
That's all you could hear. So
those were the things that we noticed right away on day one, or pickup day anyway. So my friend Betsy said, hey, have you joined the Continental Safari group on Facebook? And I said, no, I didn't know that there was such a thing. So apparently they have different groups for whatever RV you might have gotten. I didn't know. So both Paul and I joined the RV group, and he started having a conversation with the guy. Somebody was looking for a Continental Safari, and I think he even put the year, but I'm not sure. And Paul said, no, but I just bought one, and he posted a picture of ours. And the guy's like, oh, is that the one that was selling for like $9,000? We didn't think anything of it. So then the next day, he got in the group first. They put me in the next day. And I'm scrolling down through and I see an ad for our RV. And I'm looking at it, but it's not the same guy. And all the pictures are different, but the pictures are the same. So like the same bedspread on the bed, the same layout, the same couch color, and like, I'm thinking the same outside color, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's really strange. So I started looking closer, And this guy, this ad in particular, had this RV listed for $9,000. So I messaged the guy and I said, can you tell me if you sold your RV to a guy out of Kissimmee? And at first he was like, sold. And I was like, no. I'm asking if you sold it to a guy in Kissimmee. So I explained to him what had happened a little bit and, asked him some specific questions about his RV, which you can see in the screenshot. And we were definitely taken. And he said, do you want to know what he paid for that RV? And I was a little worried. And he said that guy paid $6,000 for that RV. So he made a $6,500 profit, which is cool. If you're an RV flipper, that's fantastic. That's great.
At least flip it right.
Be honest about it. Be honest about what you're doing. I think the worst part about the whole thing was the fact that he lied and said that his grandfather had just willed it to him. I think that's probably like the lowest of the low of tactics. So after we discovered that other ad and we discovered what had happened, we went back on his day off to go through the RV more carefully. Upon further inspection, there's way more damage. Like, this thing is gonna have to be gutted. The entire passenger side is rotted all the way down the wall, the floor. I pulled the couch out and the floor was rotted. They had put new carpet down in order to hide that. The fuses are blown. All of the batteries, they're dead. The garage underneath, where the storage area is completely rusted out. When you look underneath, you can see there's a big dip and there's all kinds of stuff that just the carpet's basically holding.
It looked like they used that to try and cover it up.
Yeah.
To hide it.
So also, all the seals need to be redone.
Found a hole in the side by the door.
Oh, there's a hole in the side. I don't know if it came from an awning, like the awning, if it had gotten windy or whatever, but there's a dent in the side. And that was one of the factors that the guy asked me about is there a big dent in the passenger side, which there was. Well, when I looked at it, there's actually a puncture. So it punctured in through the wall and there's a hole. So when I went inside to look, the whole floor and back behind the dressers or whatever it is, the buffet, whatever, the cabinets, behind there, it's all completely rotted. So we thought that we were only gonna have to fix the bathroom floor, and it turns out that we're probably gonna have to gut everything. I found that the bed was soaked and there's stains all over the sheet because there's apparently a leak in there as well. The refrigerator doesn't work. We don't know about the dishwasher or the washer and dryer that are in there.
So basically what we paid for was an engine, operating engine, and a chassis. So that's really, in a nutshell, $12,500 for an engine and chassis.
We don't have any skills as far as this goes. We're not technically savvy. We're not carpenters by trade. I'm a photographer. He's a chef. He worked with guns in the military. So this is definitely, we bit off more than we can chew. One of our friends that we have in Charleston that we've been discussing schoolies and RVs for, I think probably since we met 5 or 6 years ago. So he's been on this journey with us and been a wealth of knowledge, and he thinks it's going to take like a year, which we don't have. We have until May. But he has the knowledge. He said that he'll point and send me YouTube videos. Funny guy. But we're going to need any kind of help, any suggestions that you might have. We're going to try to find a legal way to deal with it, but really I don't think that there is any. Lemon law pertains to only new vehicles. It's what, 23 years old or something like that. I can't math, so there's that. And so we're gonna fix it to the best of our knowledge, or the best of our abilities. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to fix this thing.
At some point, we're probably just gonna want to go things and just do what we want to do. But ultimately, we would like to flip it and make some money off of it. But we'll see. Gotta be optimistic about it.
Our plan was not to flip it, but that has become one of the options that we've considered. Is, who knows, maybe it'll turn into a hobby and we'll love flipping RVs, and we kind of fell into it. I don't know though. We'll see.
I'm good.
So that's where we're at with this journey. Be smart when you go to look at RVs, and you look at everything and you take your time. Don't let them push you, and don't take anyone's word for it, no matter how nice they seem. That's probably one of the top lessons that we learned.
Yeah, definitely take this as a lesson.
Yes. So we're going to take this lesson and make the best of it.
Ciao.
Bye.
Okay,
You sure you're ready now?
I'm ready.
Check it out. That's nice. Okay.